Hey guys, so I'm just gonna jump right into this video. I'm gonna start with my NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on my T-zone. I don't like to put too much because, I don't know, I think this primer is a little bit on the thicker side and it's just not really necessary for me to put a whole bunch under, the layer of foundation and concealer and everything. And again, I just blend with my fingers. No brush necessary. Sometimes I think my fingers are my best tools. For foundation, of course, I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I am in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. That is a lot of foundation. I normally do not put that much. It kind of just fell out and I kind of had to go with it. Please excuse the appearance of my beauty blender. No matter how much I wash it, it just has that stain from the foundation. So, and yes, I just put makeup in my hair, but that'll go away. Also, you'll notice I put a good amount on my neck, and that is to blend it down because my foundation is a tiny bit darker than my actual skin tone, I guess. But if I go any lighter, I think it looks kind of weird on me. I look a little bit like a ghost. So this is the shade that I've been using for years, and I make it work. So as you can see, it's taking a little while to blend it all in, just because I used more than necessary. And in a second, I'm going to start blending down my neck. It's also important to get the back of the ears. A lot of people forget about that, but you really do have to blend back there. And over my eyes, because my eyes are a little on the darker side compared to everything else. And I also have a lot of veins on my eyelids and under my eyebrows. So I like to balance that all out. And we're still blending. And now we're going to go down the neck. And as you can see, as I bring it down, you can see how it's a little bit darker than the rest of me. This was also, I filmed this a little while ago, and this was like dead in the middle of winter, so I was really pale. It's not as bad now, but so that's pretty much all blended. This foundation doesn't dry too quickly, but it doesn't stay too oily either because it's matte, so it makes it really easy to actually apply. And of course, my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair. You guys have seen this a million times if you have watched the rest of my makeup videos. It's my favorite. I apply it in my T-zone area, as you can see, and over any blemishes or dark spots that I find that day, whatever kind of mood my face is in. I guess I had a few blemishes at this time when I filmed this. And then I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender. This is my Zenda Naturals Beauty Sponge. You could find it on Amazon. That is where I got it. To me, a beauty sponge is a beauty sponge, and they pretty much all do the same thing. So, yeah. And I hope you don't mind my grandfather clock that is going off right now. It'll be over in a few seconds. But I'm just using this pointy tip of the sponge to blend out the concealer. I think it does a really nice job, and it just really, the coverage between the foundation and the concealer is so good. And it really lasts all day. And I really enjoy it. I don't think I would really want to try another concealer unless it was the Tarte Shape Tape that I've heard a lot of good things about. Maybe one day I'll have a treat yourself moment and try that one out. Okay, so next up I'm going to use my Wet n Wild mattifying powder. very cheap powder. See, I'm running a little low, but I only use it to set under my eyes just to avoid any unnecessary creasing, and the same around my nose. And then I use my ring finger and I put that right over my eyelid because I do not have an eyeshadow primer. So if I put this on, it holds my makeup decently well and it prevents my eyelids from getting oily throughout the day. So that's a little tip for you if you do not have any eyeshadow primer. For blush, I'm going in with my Wet n Wild Coloricon in 32 8B Mellow Wine. And I'm applying it with my Wet n Wild angled blush brush. In person, this is a lot more pigmented. With the lights and everything, it's coming out a little more faint. But it's so nice in person, and it stays on all day long. I love it. And I did put a little bit on my forehead just to act like a little contour sort of thing. But now we're going to go into the real contour. I'm using, we're going to do highlighter first. And I use my ring finger to do that as well. This is my Ish contour kit in light to medium. And I feel like I get more product on my face when I use my ring finger. So I just put that highlighter right on my cheekbone, a little up to my temple, and a little bit on my cupid's bow, and a tiny bit on the tip of my nose. But I don't like the way it looks on my nose, so I don't really put too much. Now we're going to go in for the actual contour. I'm using the same kit. And I'm going to use the darker powder in the palette. It's super subtle, as you're really not going to be able to see it at all. I don't like the harsh contour. I just think it looks weird on me. So I just do a little bit and I make it subtle where you can kind of see a difference, but not too much. Also, I don't know why I'm applying it so aggressively. But it's okay. A little bit over the blush that I put up there too, just to add more definition to your face. Contour is definitely not part of my everyday makeup, but for the purpose of this video I said why not. And now for my favorite part, my eyebrows. I'm using my NYX eyebrow cake powder in dark brown, and this is my Ardell Duo brow brush, and I just brush it with the little spoolie on the end, and then I go in with the dark brown and I put enough product on there, and I start mid-brow and I work all the way to the end. And as you'll see in a few seconds, I use 2 different brushes to complete my eyebrows. With this brush, I do mid to end, and then you'll see later I work on the inner corner with a different brush. But you can see that my normal eyelashes, or my normal eyebrows, are very, very light, and I think that applying some powder in my brows makes a difference. Most people, I don't think it's necessary to do, but for me, I feel like if I put a lot of makeup on the rest of my face and I don't fill in my brows, then my eyebrows just kind of get lost on my face, and we don't want that. So that is why I fill them in. And my brow routine has changed over the years. I believe that I've gotten a little bit better with filling them in. If you go back to videos from years ago, I don't really know what I was thinking. There was a period of time where I overplucked them. So right now I'm at a point where I'm happy with the way they look. So this brush is my Essence of Beauty angled brush. It says it's a shadow brush, but it doesn't really seem like a shadow brush to me, so I use it for my brows. And I really just use it to perfect that inner part of my brows. And yes, I've said it before, but many people, even like my friends in real life, comment on my left brow. So my left, your right. And it's always arched, and I can't help it. It just kind of happens. And it looks funny, but I can't help it. It just kind of goes up. So sometimes if I think my brows look a little too dark, I will brush through them again after I'm done filling them in. And that is pretty much it for the brows. I kind of just leave them like that. And now for eyeshadow. As a base, I am going into my Doucce palette with my Ish powder brush, and I'm using the shade Jacqueline. It's like a white sort of powder, and again, I just use that for my base all over the eyelid and a little bit of my crease, just to kind of neutralize anything. If you can still see some of my veins, just to cover that up, and do that to the other side as well. This doesn't really do too much, but gives me a nice starting place. Okay, so now we're going to go into the crease, and I'm going to go into my Ish Smoky shadow palette now with my e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm going to use the shade Spiritual. It's like you can see, it's like a tanny beige kind of color, and it's super subtle, super pretty. Sometimes I wear that and nothing else, and it's nice. But for this video, we're going to use it for the crease. And again, I'm not too OCD with my eyeshadow. I kind of just put it all on, and then in the end I blend it all together with a different brush. So don't panic if you think it looks crappy so far. In the end, I promise it looks somewhat decent. Okay, so that is it for that brush, and now this is the blending I was talking about. I'm going in with a clean Sephora fluffy shadow brush, and I'm just blending it all out so that the line between the crease and my brow bone isn't so harsh, because I don't like harsh lines. I like everything to be nice and blended. And then I'm using my Ish angled brush in that same Spiritual shade, and I'm just going to lightly, very, very, very lightly line my lower lash line. I don't like to wear eyeliner on my lower lash line because I have very narrow eyes to begin with, and it makes me kind of look like a raccoon. So, but if it's something light brown like this, I can do. It's nice and subtle. I like it. Okay, and then we're gonna try something that I've never tried before. This is a shadow stick, and it is in the shade chocolatey, and with an Ish crease brush, I am going to attempt to add that to the crease. Now, these shadow sticks are not meant to be used with a brush like I am doing, and I found that out because they are not very easy to blend with a brush. As you can see, you're meant to actually, use it like a lipstick, but for your eye, if that makes sense. And then I put a little bit on the outer corner. I brought it down to the lash line just to give it a little definition. And again, remember, I'm going to blend it a little bit better. Now we're going to go on to the other eye and do the same thing. Halfway through doing this, I realized that I was using the shadow stick probably wrong. But, I had come this far and I just had to commit. So I'm attempting to do the same thing on this eye as well. It's not the brush's fault, it's just the shadow. But now I'm going to go in with that same clean, fluffy brush and blend everything together as best as I can in circular motions. Nice and gentle. although it doesn't look like I'm being gentle, but I was. And slowly it starts to blend out, and you can see that it doesn't look as bad. So I was decently content with it at that point. So that's it for the eyeshadow. I didn't really feel like doing too much, but I was content. So now I am using my Megaliner from Wet n Wild. It is obviously in the black color, and sorry for getting so close to the camera. And I'm getting a little closer to my mirror too, so I'm gonna go out of focus a little bit, but don't mind that. And I do pull out my eyelids. I think I've heard that that's kind of bad for your eyes, but I don't know, it's the only way I know how to do it. So I try not to pull too hard though. And I don't really do a wing because, again, I don't know, I think it looks weird on me. I love the way it looks on other people, but with me it just makes my eyes look smaller and weirder. And if you've seen my makeup videos before, you know that there's always one eye that I kind of mess up a little bit. If you saw that face that I made. The good thing about this eyeliner is that if you mess up a little bit, you can just kind of wipe it, and it comes off if you do it really quickly. So, and then I'm going to curl my eyelashes, and I'm going to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I decided to count a little differently, but you get the point. And yeah, sometimes if it's like dirty, I guess I should have cleaned it. It leaves a little mark, but nothing a beauty sponge cannot fix. And then I use 2 different mascaras. So I use my Covergirl's Lashlast Volume Waterproof Mascara, and this is in the dark brown color, and I normally buy black mascara. I bought this brown by accident, but honestly you really can't tell, and I really like the wand. It gives me a lot of volume, and it makes them look a lot thicker than they actually are. So the dark brown really wasn't a letdown because you really can't tell. And then I'm just going to clean it off and lightly do my lower lash line. I'm horrible at putting mascara on my lower lash line, so I rarely do it. But I'm trying to get better at it, so I'm trying to practice. I think it came out decently in this video. Gets a little clumpy sometimes, but, and then over that I'm going to use my Maybelline Volumizing Mascara, and this one is in black, and I'm going to put it right over. This isn't the best for volume, but it does make them look a lot darker than they are, especially if I'm using brown. So that's why I like to use both. As you can see the difference already of how thick it looks with the 2 different mascaras. But I don't bother using this one on the lower lash line because I would probably mess it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna wipe off any residue that could be on my lips, and then I'm gonna go in with my NYX Liquid Suede lipstick, and this is one of my newest favorites. It is in the color Sandstorm. I've worn it in a few videos, I think. I like it because it's like a mix between a gloss and a matte lipstick. It's a little shiny, but not overly shiny. I'm not a huge fan of very shiny lipsticks. carefully fill in my lips. I don't bother with a lip liner or anything, even though sometimes I wish I did. But I only really own two, and they don't really match any of my lipsticks, so I kind of just don't bother. And that is really it. Now it looks really shiny now, but it will dry a little bit. It'll be not as shiny as what you see here. And that is really it. I don't know why I was fanning myself like it was gonna dry that quickly, but you know, can't blame a girl for trying. And then I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I have the little tiny travel bottle, but it serves its purpose very well. And I'm just going to spray that everywhere. And that is really it. It's nice and refreshing. And that is the look that I came up with in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Good night.